Hey, what's up? I wanted to show you taking down and putting together my Rogue wall squat rack, power rack. So this is a 2 inch by 3 inch Rogue power rack, and it is really great because it's convenient. I can stow it away if I'm not using it. It allows me to park my car in this garage. It allows me to get more space in here if I need to. And if I want to work out, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes to kind of pull this out, set it up, and get it going. And I say 2 to 3 minutes because honestly, setting this up takes maybe a minute. However, I do have like a lot of weights and different things that I might store in front of it once it's folded up. So getting those things out of the way and put in their respective places in the closet or above the closet or in other areas just is what takes most of the time. Putting this back up is actually not that too, it's not inconvenient or it doesn't take too long. It's everything else that I have to do to kind of get this space kind of situated so I can work out is what takes up the most or most of the time. So let's go ahead and show you what it looks like to unfold this thing. And there you have it. The rack is assembled. I'll just tilt the camera a little bit so I can show you this more of the rack. But the rack is assembled. Did not take me much time at all. It's a little cumbersome with some of the bolts, but they're very sturdy and they fit very well. So in actuality, that's the reason why it takes a little bit longer is because you got to be a little bit more precise with the placement of the bolts and lining things up so that way everything fits nicely and there's not a lot of movement and it's very sturdy and super reliable. So Power Rack by Rogue. There you go. This right here is probably my biggest pet peeve for this Rogue Power Rack. Now this is beautiful, like finished steel, painted. It looks incredible. And then you have these rubber capped inserts, and everything is very nice. Most of the screws here are black because I painted them black, but they came out and gave me these straight silver bolts to put into the rack. And yeah, from my perspective, given the amount of money you pay for Rogue, it just seems a little off-putting to see these steel bolts on the rack. Honestly, it's a visual aesthetic thing for me. I just don't want to see it. But outside of that, these J hooks feel great. You see the nice Rogue lettering on the side. And I've had this for a while. You can see hasn't been used for a few weeks. I have some spiders crawling on there. Um, but yeah, super solid. Love this thing. And I'll show you this. This is incredibly sturdy too. I'll do some pull-ups and different things on here, but as far as the pull-up bar itself, like I'm pulling on it, there's a little movement left to right on this, but as far as up and down movement, there's zero up and down movement on this bar, which is great. You're gonna get a little left and right movement, just given that there's only one bar separating these two support pillars. But in my opinion, the convenience of having the full rack and being able to kind of squat and fold it and put it against the wall and take up less space when I need it to take up less space is ideal for me. And again, you might be totally happy with the full rack just sitting in your garage and taking up all that space. But sometimes, just given I have little kids, I need to park multiple cars in here. I just need the space to be able to kind of fold away and allow me to kind of put everything against the wall when I need to. So this rack has been super convenient for me. Again, I've had it for probably 2 years, more than 2 years, about 2 years. So I'd highly recommend it. I'd buy it again. But again, you have to have a lifestyle that would need, this rack to go into the wall and get put away from time to time. If you're never going to put away this rack, then it doesn't really make sense to buy this. It's also inconvenient in the sense that, you have to install this into the wall. So I had to install this into my wall, and you'll notice that if I come here to the right, one thing I didn't realize until I bought this is that there's a lip here against this wall, and this lip has cinder blocks behind it, and that's kind of what you see, cinder blocks coming off the foundation behind this wall. And there is a gap, and it's about like 4.5 inches, where you see I had to put 2x4s stacked up to get this to be flush kind of with this wall here. So again, things I didn't realize until I had bought the rack and then tried to install it and realized that the top mounts weren't flush with the bottom mounts. So I had to come up with a creative solution, and I spray painted these 12x2s black, and I think it came out really nice, looks really sharp. But that was also something that I had to do. Where is, if you were to purchase just a standing power rack, I wouldn't need to augment or adjust any of those things, and if this would look, it would look less mounted on the wall. But again, pros and cons there, totally up to you. It depends on how you're going to be working out. But I could comfortably squat 400 pounds probably in this rack, and it'd probably be fine. Would I do anything higher than that? Probably not. It just seems like bench pressing very high amounts of weight and squatting very high amounts of weight isn't really the purpose of kind of what I'm doing here. As well as I'm not sure of the structural integrity of bolting this into the wall. I'll show you. I have 3 bolts going into the studs on this side. I have 3 on that side. And then I have them going into the cinder blocks down below. So I feel like it's pretty sturdy. I haven't had any issues with it. I do pull-ups. I'm not doing some crazy kip-ups or anything like that. But it's been fine for my purposes. One of the things I want to highlight too is the ability to kind of put this bench on the side of the rack. I just mounted it here, but it's super cool. It mounts against the wall. So it really just takes up takes up less space, and is super convenient. And this is a really, really heavy bench. It doesn't look like it, but this thing probably weighs about like 50 pounds. So it's super sturdy, and it's mounted against the wall. So I have that there. So that's it. Wanted to share that video with you all. I put the link in the description if you're looking to buy this rack, and see you on the next video.